Welcome to LittleNat.com. We have a special guest, legendary icon DJ Scratch in the building. Now, this is a gentleman that I have known for a long time, but I don't really know him. We had Red Alert here last week, and I kind of know Red because I've worked for him for so long. So when you work with people for a long time, they kind of feel like family. But I've seen you at events. My son's seen you more than I've seen you. But I didn't really know Scratch. I was like, let me Google this guy and see what his resume is like. So I clicked on Wikipedia and I saw like this whole list of things that you are known for, what you've done, and I was so amazed. And I was like, wow. Tell the people out there who don't know, who is DJ Scratch and what you do.
Just a DJ from Brooklyn.
No, he's lying. He's not just a DJ.
That DJ/producer that just had that was blessed to be successful for 26 years in the music industry. That's it.
He's lying. What made you want to get into DJing?
That's what the kids did in the neighborhood at the time. It was like 1976, 77.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there weren't no video games, anything back then. And all of the teenagers, they were either playing sports and DJing. That was the new thing in the hood. So, you know, my older brothers were DJs. So when they would leave out the crib, of course I'd get on the turntable. So that's how it started. Just being a little brother getting the older brother shit.
How many brothers you have?
5.
Wow, that's a lot of y'all. And you raised in Brooklyn. What part of Brooklyn?
Albany Projects, Crown Heights, Brooklyn.
So what kind of student were you at that time? A, B, C?
No, I was always at the top of my class.
Really?
From kindergarten all the way.
You hear this? Terrell, you hear this? So, did you get into sports or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I'm actually glad that I chose music than sports, because I would be a retired pro athlete about 15, 20 years ago. If I had a full career, I played baseball, football, and basketball. And real quick, like when I was in junior high school, I took the test for Bronx High School of Science, Stuyvesant, and Midwood. Bronx High School of Science is the #1 school academically in the country. And, so I passed that test. I passed the test for Stuyvesant and for Midwood. So I went to Bronx Science and saw that they didn't have a football team. I wanted to play football. So I went to Midwood. Midwood had the best football team at the time. Them, Thomas Jefferson, and Boys and Girls High School had the best football team at the time in '81. And when I went to, my mother took me to the coach, and we went to the field. They had a dope field, Midwood High School, and he looked at me and was like, yo, he's too small, he can't play wide receiver, and it crushed my heart.
So what'd you do?
Like, it crushed me right then and there, and I stopped playing sports.
Period?
Right then and there, like it broke my heart, because he didn't even
give you a chance.
Right, he didn't give me a chance. He just looked at me and was like, he's too small, and he can't take a hit. And I had great hands, fast as hell, but he never even
tried you out.
Never even tried me out, and that broke my heart as a child. And I just went to music from there.
Wow. So what made you get into producing music?
It's like the natural production, natural progression from a DJ. Actually, the DJ was always responsible for any type of music. So if you're making a demo, the DJ was always responsible. So I was a producer before I even knew the term producer. So from day one, from like 1981, the first thing I ever produced.
What was that?
It's called Scratch Machine, and I still have a copy of it.
Really? Do you play it in your mix?
Sometimes.
So who are the artists that you produced music for?
For Jay-Z, DMX, Snoop Dogg, EPMD, of course, Busta Rhymes, LL Cool J. Did I say Snoop?
Yeah, I think so. Any R&B singers?
R&B, Angie Stone.
I love her.
Yeah,
I'm such a fan. She is so, oh my God, her music is just inspiring. Go ahead.
Yeah, me and Maxwell album, Now.
You working with him now?
No, he had an album called Now.
Oh, okay.
And I did the scratches on that album.
Nice. Speaking of scratches, how did you get into doing the tricks and all that stuff? Like, you just went home and started practicing and playing around? Like, what, how did you get into doing that?
I just always wanted, just with anything, like as a child, I always wanted to do something different. I didn't want to do like everybody else. So
you wanted to stand out.
So I saw an older DJ at the time. He was cutting and he went behind his back. I was like, that was dope. But and the crowd was like, ooh, ah, and I was like, I could do something better than that. So I just started going in my room and just practicing cutting with every part of my body. And one day my mom's walked in the room and I put my dick on the turntable. I was cutting. I put my dick on the fader, moving it back and forth, and I'm cutting. My mom's walking like, what the hell?
I ain't never seen a routine like that.
I've done that shit. Like when I got down with EPMD, I would do it at the arenas and all this, way before YouTube and all of that. But I just always wanted to do things different from everybody else, and then once I got the routines down, and then when certain rap records came out, I wanted to do whatever the records say. I would do it visually.
Okay.
So the crowd would totally get it.
Cool.
So that became like my
Cool. Now, what would you suggest to the DJs out there doing their thing now with all this technology and stuff? I feel like technology is really taking away from the history or the grind of DJing. Like, it's just making it too easy for people to get on. Yeah. What would you say to the DJs coming up now? What they need to do to step up their game?
I would just say go back and do your history on music. Just like with anything. Just like with anything, you have to go back to get ahead. So do your homework and practice on vinyl. First of all, and just do your homework on the history of hip hop. The more shit that you know from the past, the more you have up on the other DJs that don't know anything. You know what I mean? So that's basically that.
What is your technique to rock in a crowd? Besides, like, I know when you do your routine and you're on stage, of course that rocks a crowd, but I'm talking in terms of like a party.
Rocking a party.
Yeah, rocking a party.
Well, really there is no technique because it's a different crowd every night. Even if you're in the same club every night, the thing is you have to read the room.
Okay.
You gotta read the room. Like one night it might be, a bunch of women in there with stilettos on, and you can't play what you played last night. You know what I mean? With a room full of dudes, you know what I mean? So you just gotta read the room. There's a lot of DJs I see that they DJ and their head is down the whole time.
They're not even looking.
They're not paying attention to the crowd.
Right.
So the main goal, if there's women in there, always play for the women first. Get the women dancing with some R&B, then you good from there. So always read the room. Pay attention to what's going on. And most likely, there's some women in there, just go with the R&B. Once you got the women dancing, then the party's popping.
Right. So when you're DJing, do you come up with ideas to produce a track for somebody? Like,
definitely.
Does the crowd give you an idea of how to go on and do production?
Definitely. A lot of ideas come from just everyday things. Like you might play a record after another, in a certain way, and that idea hits you like, oh wow. You gotta write it down or something before you get back to the crib, before you forget it. But yeah, definitely.
And how do you feel about technology and the whole music industry now? Does it help or does it not help? You in between?
It's pros and cons with it. It helps the DJs that that used to carry the crates like myself. And but I still play vinyl a lot most of the time anyway. I still play vinyl. And the pros and cons is the cons is the DJs that never had vinyl, and So they don't even appreciate, you know, they don't appreciate it, and they don't study the music. And excuse me.
You okay?
Yeah. Let me answer that shit over.
Okay.
It's pros and cons of it with the technology. It's good because you ain't gotta carry your records, but it's bad because they abuse the technology. For example, when the CDJs first came out, those are the CD turntables. It was supposed to be an addition to 2 turntables.
Oh, really? Was it supposed to be a substitute?
Right. That's why they were made.
Oh, I thought they were replacing it.
No. It was supposed to be an addition to the turntable. So if there's a song, let's say a demo that you cut, and, you know, back then there wasn't really, you know, it wasn't MP3s or anything like that. So you would be able to play something on a CD that you didn't have on vinyl, and rub it in, just like the turntable. That's what it was for. But one lazy DJ was like, yo, I'm gonna get 2 of these and leave the turntables alone, and the rest was history.
Wow, I just learned something new because I didn't know that. I thought it was just like technology changing.
Nah,
so how do you feel about people using the iPod as DJ, as their equipment?
Yeah, it's like, it's you know, when it first started happening, I would be angry, but I'm like, you know, whatever you use, if you're using iPods or whatever, be able to rock the crowd. You know what I mean? So because a lot of people don't really care what you're using. You might be on an iPod or turntables or CDs. Certain crowds don't care, but when I'm DJing somewhere, everybody knows my history. So when I DJ, they want to watch as well as listen to. So they want to watch. So of course I'm on turntables, but there's pros and cons to it. And to each his own, but as long as you rocking, you gotta be able to rock. And I think if you're on Serato or any digital form of DJing, you should never be whack because it's all set up.
It's easy.
With vinyl, you have to be able to mix. There was no BPMs, you know, numbers where you can just match the numbers.
Waves.
Wave files. You just had to you had to feel it. You know what I mean? So when there's DJs that's whack on Serato
and I've seen a lot. It's horrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Now you have DJed for a lot of celebrity artists during their concerts.
Yeah.
Who were they?
After my group first broke up, after EPMD first broke up,
and you were their official DJ.
Yeah, 91.
Wait, before you go on, you have to tell them how you got that. Because I was amazed at how you got picked. And you gotta tell them who put you on. Because when I read that, I was like, I definitely have to mention that. Because a lot of you don't know.
I won this DJ battles with the best DJ in the world in 1988. And I went to a party one day, and I used to always try to get on. One day Russell Simmons and Leo Cohen was at this party, and I was like, yo, can I get on? This is before I won the battle, like months before. And I was like, yo, can I get on? And it was like, all right, you can get on. So they let me get on. I rocked. And Russell and Leo approached me. Was like, yo, you want to go on tour with Run DMC? Just like that. And I was like, hell yeah, you know. And then months later, I got in the battle, won the battle, and they actually sent me to Europe with Run DMC, opening up for Run DMC. And me and Jam Master Jay got cool because he heard about me at the shows because I went on first. So, you know, Run DMC went on last. It was Run DMC, Public Enemy, and Derek B. And the headlining act they don't come early. You know, they come like...
They come right in the middle, yeah.
So after the second night, they was like, yo, you gotta see this little kid that goes on, you know, that opens up the show. He be cutting and taking his clothes off, crowd going crazy. And because they was like, yo, the first 2 cities, they didn't like the crowd. Run DMC. They didn't like, Run DMC and Public Enemy didn't like the crowd because they felt that they were dead.
Their energy wasn't there.
Right. And what they told them, it was like, yo, they're dead because they're tired because that little kid before y'all is wearing their asses out. So it was like, let's see the go early and see what the hell this little kid doing. So they saw, and then Jay was like, yo, you gotta show me some of that shit. So we became cool from that point on. And make a long story short, when we got home off the tour, he called me and was like, hey, you wanna go to this EPMD show in Jersey? I'm like, shit, Master G's calling my crib. And so he came to the project, picked me up with this.
Right, he came to Brooklyn, Project.
And Jam Master Jay is from Brooklyn. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. He was from
Brooklyn. Yeah, he's originally from Brooklyn. And so he came to the project, picked me up, and we went to the show, and EPMD DJ wasn't there. They had this big reel-to-reel on the stage, and their security was pressing start and stop.
I haven't seen a reel-to-reel
between songs. So after the show, he took me on their bus and was like, yo, y'all should take my man out on the road. He just won the world championship. And he was like, no. He just went through 2 other DJs. They went through 2 DJs on their first album. Their album wasn't even out for 3 months.
Wow.
And they went through 2 DJs already.
So they was already bitter.
So it was done with DJ. So Jay was like, yo, just take him out on the road for a week. If you don't like him, send him home. And they couldn't say no to Jay because Jay let them stay on the tour bus. And, it's Jam Master Jay, you can't say no to Jay. And they took me out on the road. So the first show, it was like, yo, so what you want to do that's so special?
And you showed them.
Just like that. Like, what you going to do that's so special that Jay was talking about? Like, stop your tape in the middle of the show and just follow my lead. Like, what you going to do? So I'm like, yo, I'm going to start cutting. I'm going to take my shirt off. I'm stripped. I'm cutting my thing. So they thought I was being sarcastic. And they was like, all right, whatever. So we got to the show in Milwaukee, and in the middle of the show, they stopped the tape. They was like, yo, DJ Scratch, check out DJ Scratch. But they never even looked back at me. They wasn't fucking with me at all. And they was in the front, shaking the fans' hands, and then they're not even listening to the music or anything, but they see the crowd
going crazy,
and they're looking past them. So when they turned around and seeing everything that I said I was doing, that I was gonna do, I was doing. It was like, yo, that's my DJ, yeah.
Now you're the DJ. That's how it always happens.
Yeah, so after that show, they was like, yo, you gonna stay? And I was, and that's what he said.
And who else did you DJ for?
DJ for Jay-Z. I actually put his show together, taught Jay, because Jay used to always be, just like EPMD. When I saw EPMD perform before I got down, it was very boring on stage. They were just standing.
Yeah, Jay's like that.
Jay's the same way, but Jay was worse than what he is now.
Yeah, he moves a little bit now that he's married to Beyonce.
I told Jay, I'm like, Jay, like you have to enjoy your music on there. You know what I mean? Like, I know you're cool. You can fall off a dime. You know what I mean? Like you can stand on a dime and won't fall, but you gotta move a little bit, enjoy it a little bit. You know what I mean? So he worked with me and got his show together. So Jay-Z, Q-Tip, I've been DJing for Q-Tip since 2000, since he did his first solo album.
Okay. So we talked behind the scenes, and he said he's never done a radio show until now on BLS, and I was surprised because I was like, I could have sworn I heard you on the radio, but he's never done a radio show until now. What time?
Nobody want me on the radio
because they know you're gonna kill it.
And it's like I never understood that, man. Like,
well, we can talk about the radio game later, but it's crabs in the barrel in the radio, and it's like there's certain people that have to always be the main stars, and it doesn't go past that. But
I used to, I was feared for shit I did in the streets because I was in the streets wilding. But I never understood being feared for something that you do musically. Yeah,
well, people get threatened. They don't want their stardom to be taken over.
I learned that.
Yeah. But you have a website where you do your own radio show on your website. What is the website?
It's scratchvision.com. And actually, I started doing the internet radio in 2007. And out of frustration of radio, I couldn't get on the radio, so I said I'm gonna start my own. And I seen the format of having a podcast, and the podcast was going streaming through iTunes. I was like, okay, since I can't get on the radio, I'm gonna do my own radio show. And actually, I have a broader audience because it's the internet, so it's worldwide instead of just
local,
tri-state. So I started doing that, and then I found this website that CNN uses called Mogulus, and I said I'm gonna try to video stream it. So I did the video stream, and I didn't get a lot of viewers on the video stream because back then everybody didn't have
computers mostly, and that, yeah.
They didn't have high-speed internet. Everybody didn't have high-speed because even myself, I was still on the AOL dial-up at the time. And then when the government forced everybody in 2009 to...
Sorry. This happens when you don't move around.
Yeah, censor.
Yeah. Okay. So pick up from where the government...
So when the government forced everybody to have some type of high-speed internet, you know, when the TV antenna on your house didn't work anymore, it forced everybody to have high-speed internet. I said, okay, now I'm gonna relaunch it. So I did like a whole presidential campaign and launched Scratch Vision and ScratchVision.com in 2009. And we was rocking so hard on there, making so much noise, like all of the radio stations in New York, DJs were watching. They would actually come into the chat room too. Like one station wouldn't come into the chat room because they were the ego station, but they would watch. And all of the radio DJs that were beefing with each other, they would all come into my site and watch because they weren't able to play the music that we were playing.
That's one thing about internet radio. You play with one.
Yes. So then WBLS heard about it and they started coming in and watching, and it was, so then they hit me up. It was like, yo, can you do Scratch Vision on the radio? And the rest was history after that.
You did movies too.
Yeah, I did a couple of movies.
Well, you were acting in them too, right?
Yeah, I did Spike Lee.
He said he's just a DJ. You heard what he said, right?
I'm a DJ first. But yeah, I did Spike Lee's Spike Lee's Bamboozled. I was a character called Joe Black. Every time I see Spike Lee, he calls me Joe Black.
So?
Yo, Joe Black. Like, yo, what the fuck you talking about?
Spike Lee's funny.
Spike's my dude. I be hitting Spike up. I'm like, yo, Spike, we got a team now. Brooklyn got a team now. You gotta switch over.
Oh, he's not.
You gotta switch. He wanna switch.
He wants to,
but he can't.
He's a Knicks fan.
Yeah, he wanna switch though, cause Spike is so Brooklyn. I'm like, you're not so Brooklyn anymore. You're just from Brooklyn.
Because he won't switch. But see, I feel his pain, cause Terrell and I, we're Knicks fans.
I know.
But we
I'm
love
a Knicks
the
fan
Nets,
too,
and we
but
want to be down with
I'm
the
a
Nets.
Knicks fan, but I'm BK all day.
Yeah,
so
me too. But still, it's like it's hard, man. And the Knicks are doing so well. So is the Nets. The Nets are doing good too.
Right.
No front. They had their first fight. Wouldn't be a Brooklyn Net without a fight.
So we got two teams now.
Yeah, we got two basketball teams. We've been had two baseball teams, so that's good. And we have two football teams.
Yeah, we got two football teams.
And we got one hockey team, right? Yeah.